You know now something different. I do. And God, I wish I'd done something different. God,
Understood.
So it's just...
You would accept, I think, that many people felt that there was something around, and that it ought to be brought out into the open somehow. But what you were tasked with and what you tasked your office for was a narrower look at this evidence. Is that correct?
That's absolutely right. Yeah, newspapers on a sort of weekly basis will run very interesting articles of investigative, classy investigative journalism, which, gosh, that is interesting, but we don't launch an investigation on the back of all of those. It's just, is there anything new in the Guardian article on July the 9th? Answer, there wasn't, and there remains nothing.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Lorraine Fulbrook. Thank you. James Clapperson.
Can I ask on a different subject, which doesn't go to the issue of what was going on at the time, since we've got you here, Assistant Commissioner? Because I imagine you were very busy.
Why, Mr. Clapperson?
Well, it is, but it's related to this inquiry very much to the behaviour of certain parts of the press. You were probably very busy last night. There was a report on Channel 4 News into the case of Daniel Morgan, which I think you may be familiar with.
Intimately involved.
Intimately.
Yeah.
It was, to me as a layman, a very alarming report about the way in which the investigation by, I think it was Chief Superintendent Cook, was interfered with at the time. I think this is going back to 2002 when that investigation was launched, and it was an old case which had happened in 1987.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what you know about that? Because I believe you went to a newspaper office to speak to them about it. Is that right?
I don't think I did.
Well, there was a report in the Observer that somebody had from the Met had been to see them.
I became involved in the Daniel Morgan case on or around about 2005, 2006. It's a case that's been subject to numerous investigations, re-investigations. But my involvement is about 2005.
Right.
2006 onwards. It's a huge inquiry. There's something like 750,000 documents in the inquiry.
To cut to the chase on this, the point of it was that the officer who was investigating the murder was himself placed under investigation by the News of the World, who had links to allegedly some interest in the case.
I'm fully aware of the issue that's been in the public domain around Dave Cook, surveillance, and all those issues. I'm also aware, although I wasn't present, that there was a meeting at the Yard, I think, between Dick Fedorcio and Rebecca Brooks,
right?
Where these matters were discussed. I don't know the outcome of that, and I wasn't responsible for the case at the time.
Mr. Latson?
Did you seek to find out why the officer had been placed under investigation by the News of the World?
Say again, sorry?
Do you know why did you try to find out why that officer had been investigated by the News of the World at that time?
No, I didn't. Why would I? Because I wasn't responsible for the case.
But you became interested in it later on.
Yes.
I'm not blaming you for anything. I'm trying to get at what happened.
It's.
You're actually praised, if I may say, the Guardian today in respect to this.
Good Lord.
It was disturbing.
The thing that would concern me, and the thing that I discussed with Dave Cook, was his personal security. That's what would have concerned me. And David would know, and I would know, that we put in place sufficient sort of reassurance around his personal security. Well, what happened in 2002 happened in 2002. I would not be taking that further forward at that point.
So you don't know why, you didn't seek to investigate why he was placed under investigation by the News of the World?
Well, I suspect, it was common knowledge between Dave and I that had taken place, and I put in place with David appropriate personal security measures and relevant advice to ensure that he felt confident in doing his job.
But it was at the time he was investigating a particular case that he'd come under investigation. He was investigating the Daniel Morgan case, relaunched the investigation. Yeah. When that happened, according to Channel 4, he was then placed under investigation himself. Do you know why that happened?
I don't know why it happened, and it was 2002, and I wasn't responsible.
Thank you for that line of questioning, and go on to Michael Ellis, who will bring us back to...
Yes, Mr. Yates, can I just come back to a couple of things, please? First of all, you've repeated this afternoon an assertion that you made last time for this committee that it was effectively News International who were not cooperating that have caused us to be where we are here. Do you accept that wrongdoers often do not cooperate with the police?
Absolutely accept that.
So do you rely on the fact that they were not cooperating to blame them for where you are now or the Metropolitan
No.
Police is now?
Mr. Ellis, on numerous occasions, I have tried to explain to this committee the issue around production orders. I have letters from News International going back in 2005, 2006, 2009, where they clearly, with legal advice, have constructed replies to letters that absolutely constrains the police's ability to get a production order.
With respect.
No, I'm afraid.
Well, we will leave